Today we're going to go through problems number 42 through 60 that are on your midterm review sheet. Once again, remember, if you know and understand these 60 questions on your review sheet, you will do great on your midterm coming up next week, okay? So let's start off with number 42. We're finding the quotient and simplifying our answer. There's a special method that you have to use whenever you are dividing fractions, because you're not technically allowed to divide a fraction. Does someone remember what that method was called? What is it called? KFC, okay? So you keep which one?
Keep 3/4.
Keep the first one. Which one do I flip?
The 1/2.
Flip the second one and change what?
The sign.
You change the sign to division, okay? At this time, is there anything that I can cross-reduce?
Yes.
Which ones?
4 and 2.
All right, what does the 2 become?
A 1.
And the 4.
2.
Okay, now we're going to go ahead and multiply across. What do you get?
3 and 3/2.
3/2. Are you allowed to give me an answer like this?
No.
No, I never want your answer as an improper fraction. So JD, what is your answer? 1 and 1/2 is correct, okay? If you don't know how to do that in your head like he just did, you're simply doing 3 divided by 2. Oops, and working that out. Okay, so that's the same thing. Any questions on that first one? All right, Alex, I want you to help me with the next one. What should I do first? Okay, very good job. I want to make it an improper fraction. So what would this first fraction be?
It will be
49 fifths. And what would my second fraction be when you turn it into an improper fraction? 14 over 13. Okay, now you're going to do our simple KFC. What should I do?
You should flip 13 and 14.
What's the K stand for?
Flip change.
Keep the first one, flip the
7.
second one, and then change the sign. Okay, not going to change it to a divide, but put it to a multiply. Okay, Alex, is there anything I can cross reduce?
No.
There is actually.
Yes.
What can go into a 49 that can also go into a 14?
That's 7.
A 7. How many times does it go into the 14?
It goes into 2.
2 times. How many times does it go into a 49?
7.
7 times. Okay, now, do I need a common denominator?
No.
No, let's just multiply straight across. What is 7 times 13? Very good, 91. Then Alex, what's 5 times 2?
10.
10. Is this my final answer?
No.
No, let's figure out how many times can a 10 go into a 91, guys? 9 times. What's left over? 1/10. So what's the answer? 9 and 1/10 is correct. Remember, you cannot leave your answer as an improper fraction. Always make sure you flip it back into a mixed number, okay? Any questions about those two problems? All right, moving on. I need someone to go ahead and come up to the board to help me out to find these points. Let me have Jakari come on up. All right, so as he comes up, where should he always start?
In the origin.
At the origin. What are the points for the origin?
0,
0, 0. Okay, so go ahead and put your finger on 0, 0. Now, is he going to move left and right first or up and down?
Left and right.
Left and right, because if you remember, this right here is the x point in your coordinates, so you want to make sure that you do left and right first, and then you will do this one, which is up and down. So help me out first. We're going to go to -5. Good job. He went to the left for -5, and then where is -4? And he went down to -4. Is this correct or incorrect? Correct. That is correct, okay? And we're going to go ahead and label that point A. Who can help me out to understand what quadrant that was located in? Kyla, what was it?
Quadrant 3.
Quadrant 3. All right, can I just put a 3 like this?
No, that's the Roman numeral.
Always make sure you do it as a Roman numeral, okay? Who wants to come up to do point B for me? Katie, come on up. All right, she starts at what point, guys?
0.
Always start at 0, 0. Should she go left and right or up and down?
Left and right.
All right, so she went to the right 3, and then which direction?
Down.
And then she went down to what?
-4.
Down to -4. That is correct, all right? And that was point what?
Point B.
Point B. Okay, be careful. On your last quiz, a lot of people forgot to label this part right here. So don't forget, tell me what point that is. And then, Emma, what quadrant am I in?
Quadrant 4.
Okay, that is quadrant 4. Who can tell me how to do a 4 in Roman numerals?
IV.
What is it, guys?
IV.
IV. Very good. Okay, does anyone have questions about how to plot points on a coordinate plane? Okay, so her question right here is asking, are these numbers negative? Okay, I was kind, and out of the kindness of my heart, I did give you some numbers already on here. If you look super duper close, there is actually a little teeny tiny negative sign right there. You just really can't see it super well because it's on the line, okay? But yes, this means -2, that means -4, this means -6, that means -8, okay? So even though it might not look like that, you can't see it, but it's very much on the line. Okay, so yes, when you go down, those are negatives, and then you can see right here when you go to the left, then those are negatives also. Okay, great question. Let's go on to the next one. For these next few problems, when you try to do these on your midterm, it will be a part that you cannot have a calculator. So make sure that you're practicing these sections if you have a hard time without the calculator, okay? So let's go ahead and look at this first one. Write the decimal as a proper fraction or a mixed number. The first thing you got to do is make sure you understand what place value it's in. Anytime it's to the left, that's the ones place, okay? What place is this number? The tenths. And what place is that one? Hundredths, okay? So now what we have to do is figure out how to write this as a fraction. That is 18 what, class? 18 hundredths. Okay, and you know that because this last number was in the hundredths place. Is that simplified?
Yeah.
No. An 18 and a 100 are both even numbers. Therefore, we know that that can be reduced. You can divide by 2 for both of them. Gabby, what's the answer?
18 and 100. Oh. 9.
Over. Okay. Can 9/50ths be reduced at all? No, there is nothing that goes into a 9 that also goes into a 50. All right, let's go on to the next one. Help me out, please, Asia. 1.25.
That is 1 in 2500.
1 in 2500ths, and can that be simplified at all?
Yes, ma'am.
To what?
1 in 1/4.
1 and 1/4 is correct. Okay, and that is the mixed number that you turned that decimal into. Next up, find the sum of the decimals. Okay, there's a fact that you've got to know about adding decimals. Could someone tell me what it is before I do anything else? What is it?
Carry the decimal.
You have to line up the decimals. Okay, so if that's a decimal point, I'm going to go ahead and put my decimal point first. Do I need any placeholders?
Yes.
Yes.
Where?
Next to the 6.
Okay, after the 6. Very good job. Let me have Jakari go ahead and add it for me, please.
Well, you want me to tell you the answer? It's 0 plus 1 equals 1, 6 plus 0 equals 6. Bring down the decimal point. 4 plus 7 equals 11. Bring up the 1 to the 2. 3 plus 4 equals 7. And 1 plus 0 equals 1.
Excellent. Okay, 171 and 61 hundredths is your answer. If you didn't get that, please erase what you have and fix it. Remember, when you turn this in for your midterm, you have to have all the correct answers, especially because we're going over them right now. Isabel, next up. Line up the decimals, but where's the decimal on number 16? It's after the 6, okay? So now what? Do I need any placeholders?
Yes.
Where at?
Behind two zeros behind the decimal.
Okay, 2 zeros behind the decimal point. All right, go ahead and add it for me.
8 plus 0 equals 8. 3 plus 0 equals 3. Bring down the decimal. And 7 plus 6 equals 2. Bring it 1. And then 1 plus 1 equals 2.
All right, and your correct answer is 23 and 38 hundredths.
Yes.
Next up, find the difference of the decimals. Do I have to line up my decimal points here? Yes, you do.
It's 1 plus.
Those Miss Lewis.
Do I need a placeholder on this?
Yeah.
Yes. Where at?
In front of the 5.
In front of the 5?
Or, yes.
I don't actually need anything there.
After the 2.
After the 2, okay? You want to make sure you have them at the ends, okay? Help me out, Kyla.
10 to 0 to 10. 10 to 1. 10 minus 1 is 3. Then you have to borrow. No, I'm sorry. 1 minus 0 equals 1. And then 10 to 4 is 14. And turn it 8 to 7. And then 14 minus 6 equals 8. And then 7 minus 5 equals. Yeah, 7 minus 5 equals 2. And then carry the 6 down and carry the 1 down.
Answer?
162.812.
Excellent. Remember, with your decimal point, you just bring it straight down, okay? Who would like to do the next one? All right, let me have Katie. Do I have to line up my decimal points?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Go for it.
Okay, so you're going to take the 4 and turn it into a 14, then borrow from the 1 and make it a 0. Then you're going to
Hold on. Borrow from this guy right here.
Oh. And make it, oh yeah, make it a 3. And then 14 minus 7 is 7. And then the 4 needs to turn, the 3 is smaller than the 7, so we need to change the 3 into a 13. And borrow from the 4 next to it, change it to a 3. And so 13 minus 7 is 6. Then the 4 is smaller than the 7, so you have to change or the 3 is smaller than the 7, so you have to change the 3 to the 13. And then borrow from the next 4 over. And you have to change that to a 3. Then 13 minus 7 is 6. Then 3 on the next one, 3 is smaller than 7, so you have to change that to a 13. 13 minus 7 is 6. Then you have to borrow from the 1 and make it a 0.
Answer?
66.67.
Very good. The next kind of problems, we are finding the product of the decimal. Whenever you are multiplying numbers together, do you have to line up the decimal points? No, you do not. Ironically enough, in this case, they are both right after that first number, so they are lined up, but you do not typically have to line them up, okay? Help me out, class. What do I do? 3 times
1
equals
3
9 times 1?
9
9. Okay, do I need a placeholder? Yes. 3 times 8? 24. 9 times 8?
72.
Plus 2?
74.
Okay, now, how many decimal points do I have right there? 1. It only went over 1 time, okay? How many did this one go over? Only 1 time. So, adding those 2 up, what is it? 2. Okay, so I know once I find my answer, I'm going to be moving the decimal point over 2 places. All right, let's add this together. 3 plus 0?
3.
9 plus 4?
13.
Everyone, 1 plus 4?
5.
And bring down the...
7.
How many places did we say we have to go over?
2.
2. So what's the correct answer?
75.33.
Very good. Okay, who wants to do the next one for me? Let me have Isabel. Go ahead.
You have to bring down the 2.3. And you multiply 3 times 4, which is 12. And you can bring 1 over the 6. 3 times 6 is 18, plus 1 is 19. And then you have to add a 0 under the 2. And 2 times 4 is 8. And 2 times 6 is 12. And 0 plus 2 is 2. 9 plus 8 is 17. Plus is 4. And then 1. And then you have to bring your decimal down, which is after the 4.
Okay, very good job. Who would say you got both of those right when you did it on your review sheet? If you did not, I see a few people erasing. That's okay. Erase and fix so that you have the correct answers. For this next one, it says to find the sum or the difference of the integers. How many of you feel like you're pretty good with doing integers now? Okay, I know a lot of you guys, when you came into this class, you acted like you hated integers, okay? But you have done a really good job. One of the reasons why I think is because of the song that you have learned. So I want you to sing it to me. Go ahead.
Same sign, add and keep, different signs subtract. Take the sum of the larger number, then you'll be exact.
One more time.
Same sign, add and keep, different signs subtract.
Take the sign of the larger number, then you'll be exact.
Exact.
All right, so we've got an interesting problem right here. -5 minus -25. Landon, what do I have called there? A double negative. Guys, what happens to a double negative? It becomes a positive. Now, if you look right here, I have a negative here, and a negative here. Are there any of those that I don't turn to a positive?
The -5.
-5. Why don't I turn that one to a positive?
There's no negative in front of that one, you know.
Okay, here's why. There is a number in between these two negative signs. The only time you will ever have a double negative if it's two negative signs side by side with no number between them. So that's a negative and that's a negative. Once again, this is no number in between them. So what does that turn to? A positive, okay? So now what I want you to do is rewrite this on the line directly underneath it. What will it say underneath it?
-5 plus 25.
-5 plus 25, okay? Those two positives just turn into one positive. Now, as I'm looking at this, remember, every number has a sign, and that sign is directly in front of that number. What sign is here? What sign is here? Positive, okay? So, as I'm looking at that, is this the same sign or a different sign? Different sign. Subtract the numbers and take the sign of the larger number. What do you get?
20.
Positive 20 is correct. All right, if you did not get that, erase it and fix it. Who could say you have a question about that? Yes, ma'am.
You want us to rewrite it?
Do I have same sign or different sign?
Different.
Different sign. This one is negative, this one is positive. So you've got to subtract the numbers and take the sign of the larger number. What do you get? -2. 55 and 56 says find the product of the integers. Do I do this the same way with same sign, add and keep, different sign, subtract and take? No, multiplying and dividing is totally different, okay? There's an idea that you have to remember. You have to count how many negative signs there are. How many negative signs are up there?
One.
Only one. Because there's only one, will my answer be negative or positive? It will be a negative answer. So what is 10 times -2? -20 is correct. All right? Help me out with the next one. Alex, is my answer going to be positive or negative?
Negative.
Why is it negative?
There's only one negative.
There's only one negative. 5 times -1 is -5, and then what would that be when you multiply times 9?
9. Negative. Wait, huh? Can you go?
What's the answer?
Oh. -5. I'm confused.
What is the answer?
Oh, you're talking about the. Okay, never mind. -45.
-45 is correct.
I thought you wanted to show it.
This one, find the quotient of the integers. You have the same exact kind of rules whenever you are dividing that you do whenever you're multiplying. So first up, Emma, is this answer going to be positive or negative?
Negative.
All right, why do you think it's negative?
Because there's only one negative number.
There's only one negative number. Guys, what's the answer? -5 is correct. Next up, Kyla, help me out. Is it going to be a positive or a negative answer?
A positive.
Why is it going to be positive?
Because both of them are negative, and so
Okay, I've got two negative signs here. That's an even number. Anytime you have an even number of negative signs in your original problem, your answer will become positive. So guys, what's the answer?
Positive 6.
It is +6. Okay, so just remember your rules for adding and subtracting are different than your rules for multiplying and dividing integers. This says to evaluate the expression when A equals 2, B equals -3, and C equals 10. This is just like those problems we had at the beginning of the year where we were just plugging numbers in, okay? So instead of putting a B right here, what am I going to plug in? -3. As I'm looking at this, once again, this is work that I want to see. When you have your midterm, I want to see that you're plugging it in and you understand what you're doing because I can still give you partial credit. So as we're doing this, is my answer going to be positive or negative? I heard negative and positive. I'm multiplying, so what's the rule when I multiply?
If it's 2 more negatives, it's addition.
If you have two negatives, because that's an even number, your answer becomes a positive. So what's my answer?
27.
Okay, it is positive 27. Very good job. Let's go on to the next one. We're going to go ahead and plug it in. What is the A?
The A is 2.
2. What is the B?
-3.
Okay, Do you guys remember PEMDAS?
Yes.
What should come first?
Parentheses.
Parentheses. Do I have any parentheses work to do inside the parenthesis? No, there's nothing to do inside. It just says -3. Do I have any exponents? Yes, I do have exponents. So this right here is what I'm going to have to work with next. What does -3 squared mean?
Like
3 times 3.
negative 3 times negative 3.
It means -3 times -3. If I am multiplying two negative numbers, my answer becomes a positive. Okay, so that means I am now 2 times, what's that? 9. Okay, remember, two negatives will equal a positive. If you don't have that, erase it and fix it. What should my answer be? 18. Okay, it is a positive 18. Any questions on how to do that one? All right, so listen. Good luck on studying your midterm. Do you have to turn in your midterm review sheet?
Yes, you do.
It is 10% of your grade, so please make sure you turn that in and you bring it to me when you come to class next week.